Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Victoria Paxton here. So today I am in Stafford, Virginia at a really quaint little Episcopal church, and there are graves all over. And when I first pulled up I was kind of bummed, only because I like the older cemeteries because I like the architecture. So I was kind of looking around like, this is more modern, you know. And when I say more modern, I mean like 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, you know, today, right? But as I started wondering more through it, there's probably 400 people buried here. And as I started wandering through it, I found like a lot of really cool looking headstones and graves. So, but anyway, so today I'm going to start doing a series and connect with someone that's passed away, most likely people that have been murdered, and see what I can get from them. So I decided to start off with JonBenet Ramsey since, let's see, December 26th. It'll be 23 years, I believe. December 26, 1996, little JonBenet Ramsey. She was 6 years old. I'm sure you all have heard about her. She was her mom put her in beauty pageants, so she wore makeup and she wore the little flipper teeth and, you know, didn't look like a 6-year-old when she was done up. So anyway, there was a guy initially arrested a couple of years ago, which ended up being he didn't do it. And so I decided, okay, why not? Let me take a stab at this. Excuse the pun there, but let me try to connect with her and see what I get. So I took notes. I'm not going to say what she said verbatim because that's really hard, and I was just basically jotting down notes, you know. I should have recorded it, but I didn't think to do that. So, okay, so she was 6 years old. Her older brother Burke was 9. So anyway, I tried to connect with her, and it was kind of bizarre because I got this, 20-something, young woman come through. Her hair was blonde, but it was like, like a darker, dirty blonde, and, really cute, but I was like, okay, why is she coming through, because I was expecting this child to come through, right? Well, it ended up that it was JonBenet. So let me explain something. So a lot of times when babies pass or toddlers pass, they end up like going to a specific age where they can communicate, because when you're a baby or a toddler, you can't communicate, right? So she came back as, how old she would have been had she have lived, right? And I was talking to her, kind of basically chit-chatting to see what she had to say and to see if I'd be able to actually connect with her. Just because somebody's crossed over doesn't mean that I have the magical abilities to connect with every single person. As much as I think I'm that great, which that's a joke. Yeah, I can't connect with everybody. I wish I could, but that's not how it works. Now, for me, she came through the age that she would be today had she have lived. For someone else, she may not come through like that. But keep listening because it gets a little strange. So she came through, chit-chatty. I figured out who she was. I started asking her questions, trying to get a feel for her and where her head was and her mind. And so she started, I asked her if she would share with me what happened. And so she started kind of reminiscing back to that day, that morning, her Christmas tree. She talked about her Christmas tree, and she talked about going to their friend's house, and there were tons of people there, and I guess they had gone there before on Christmas Day, so it was kind of like a tradition or whatever. So she was reminiscing about that, and then she disappeared. She got up to the point where we were going to discuss, okay, and then what happened next, right? She remembered the party. She remembered getting in the car to leave, and then she just disappeared. So I continued to try to communicate, to connect with her, and she came back, and when I saw her this time, I could feel somebody, and when I looked, she was a little 6-year-old girl again. you know. She wasn't like she was in the beauty pageant pictures where she had lipstick, and it wasn't like that. She was just a little kid, you know. She was just a kid. Um, okay. So she started, I didn't question her, like, why are you coming back as a child? I didn't question her. My guess is, no, I'm not even going to guess, because I don't know. I don't know why she did that. I don't know. Anyway, so she said she was woken up, and she had something like over her mouth. She was trying to, like, you know, take a deep breath, and she felt like she couldn't, like something was over her mouth or something. And then she opened her eyes, and there was this man, and she said she thought, at first she thought, you know, she recognized him, but she thought she was dreaming. She didn't think it was real. And he told her to be quiet. He told her he wasn't going to hurt her, that he would return her to her mommy and daddy. He said, if you yell or scream or fight to where your parents wake up, I'm going to come back, and I'm going to hurt you, and I'm going to hurt your brother. So obviously, you know, JonBenet, she loved her big brother, right? So she was like, oh my gosh. So she said she felt she was trying to fight, like she was trying to kick and stuff. She wasn't yelling, but she was fighting him, like trying to kick him and stuff. And he had a good hold on her. And then she felt this, like, weird feeling that she had never felt before. She said she knows now it was her neck, but she said it almost felt like it was the side of her face, like the bottom of her cheek. She felt this weird feeling that shot through her body, and it just, like, she said it was painful, but it was like numbing too. I'm guessing that it was probably the taser or whatever, that supposedly she had taser marks on her. I'm guessing that's what it was, but you know, she was 6. She didn't know what a taser was, right? So she realized at this point he had her, and he was walking down her stairs, and he kept telling her, you know, keep your mouth shut, stay quiet, I won't hurt you, I won't hurt you, I won't hurt your brother, I won't hurt anybody. I'll bring you home, I promise, I'll bring you back. He kept saying, you know, I'll bring you back, I'll bring you back. So she kind of, like, I don't know why, but she said she doesn't really know what happened after that. So I don't know if she passed out. She did remember, I'm sorry, okay. She did remember him taking her to the basement. She remembered that. She was kind of in and out of it, but she remembered that she was in the basement. Like when she said she opened her eyes at one point, and she was in the basement. And he was ruffling through something, and she was hurting, and then she heard him, like, ruffling through something, and then she doesn't remember anything else, right? So, yeah. So, thankfully, she doesn't remember being molested. She doesn't remember, you know, what he did to her. I mean, that's a good thing. But she said, and I don't know if this was when it actually happened she remembered this, or if it was something she remembered when she was connecting with me, or, you know, after the fact, if she remembered. It's not necessarily she remembered when she was connecting with me, but either while, I don't know if it was while it was happening or once she had passed away, if she remembered this, but she remembered that she recognized this man. Yeah, she recognized this man. And she had seen him around at parties. She said she saw him, okay. She said she thought it was the Little Miss pageant that she had seen him at. Okay. So we're talking, this loser, based on her memory, this loser was at one of her beauty pageants. And she remembered this guy being in the company of her mom and dad. And I think she said she had seen him a few times. So, you know, gosh. So as she was telling me this and we were talking, this was like, you know, before she started getting too much into detail about the pain she felt and, you know, him taking her. She was talking a little bit about the guy, and yeah, her concern is that she doesn't want her mom's gone now, but she doesn't want her dad to get in trouble because she feels that her mom and dad both knew that she said she didn't know how she knew, but she felt like her mom and dad knew this guy. And after everything happened, she felt like her mom and dad knew he's the one that did it. And they kept their mouth shut. Now, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if it's just a perception she had or if it is really true. I don't know. You know, she was very convincing, you know, and she has no reason to lie. You know what I mean? Like, it's after the fact. She would have no reason to lie about that. But she was pretty confident that her parents knew who did it. And she didn't want her dad to get in trouble. That was her biggest fear, was that the police would find out that her dad knew the whole time and that he would get in trouble. Like I said, you know, I don't know these people directly. I would like to think and hope and pray that they didn't know who did it, because I can't imagine having my child murdered and being left dead in my home and then looking at my husband and knowing who did it and not saying anything, especially after all these years. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But I can tell you, you know, she honestly believed, you know, he had convinced her if she kept her mouth shut and she did what he said, that he wouldn't hurt her, he'd bring her home, but that if she didn't, he was going to hurt her, he was going to hurt her brother, you know. So, I mean, she was just an innocent little 6-year-old, like, that had the weight of the world on her shoulders for the time that this was going on. The ironic thing, when she said that she was, you know, this guy had been around her dad before, you know, when they had been to different events, she had seen him. And the ironic part of that is the 2.5-page ransom note that was left. I did some research, and the 2.5-page ransom note said that if you give me $118,000, I'll bring your child back. The ironic thing is that John, he was a CEO of a company. He had just gotten a bonus that was just under $118,000. So it makes sense that this guy was someone that knew her dad. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's a shame. I would like to hope and pray that John Ramsey didn't know who did it. You know, I really hope and pray that for him, for his sake, you know? Because how can you live with that every day of your life, that you know who killed your child, but you feel like you can't say anything? I don't know. I don't know, guys, but that was just like a really hard connection, you know, because we're talking about a 6-year-old little girl. Yeah, it was difficult. It's a difficult thing for me to talk about. It was difficult connecting with her because, you know, think of it this way, like, you know, I saw her as an adult, and then she disappeared. She comes back, and she's this little child that she was back when she was murdered. And you see, you know, it's just this innocent little girl telling you what happened to her, you know, taking away, you know, everything innocent about her, you know. So it was really difficult. It was really hard, guys.
I'm thinking the dad wouldn't know exactly who. Like, he didn't put anybody up to it, because you can't do that to a child.
No,
to your
I
own
don't.
child.
I don't think. Okay, so my husband's. Yeah, you could hear him. I don't think that the dad put this person up to it at all. Okay, I don't think it was that at all. I think this guy ran in somehow in the parents' circle, somehow, and was aware that he had gotten this money, and I think the intention was to take this child and hold her for ransom. And I think something went terribly wrong by the time he got to the basement, and I think that's why he went up, left her laying there, went upstairs, threw down the ransom note, came back downstairs, climbed out the window, and took off. Yeah, I'm not saying by any means that the dad put him up to it. That's not it at all, based on what she was saying to me. But yeah, so yeah, it was a hard case, and I want to apologize because I don't have my microphone, because out of 3 microphones that we own, somehow one always gets taken out of my camera bag, and I don't know why or how, but it happened. So yeah. So that's it, guys. Thanks for stopping back by my YouTube channel. You know, it'd be really nice if you subscribed. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. It's harmless. I won't hurt you. I promise. Um, and subscribe to my channel. Give me a like. And you could share it if you wanted to. So, but whatever, guys. Okay.
That's
Okay,
good.
guys. Have a great day. Bye.